So, Thor. And yes, I mean the Norse god, Thor. Don't even get me started on the Marvel stuff. Anyways, Thor, the Norse god. And yes, this is his hammer. So, this guy is a somewhat interesting character. So he's the protector god, the guardian, and the god of thunder, and just most often, if when you see him through the myths and through the stories, depicted as this young adolescent type of character. It's brass, impulsive, his heart is very much in the right place, but often acts just, without a careful thought and gets himself into trouble, gets tricked quite a bit. The world surely messes him up at times, but he just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And this is so interesting now in this time when we have voices like Jordan B Peterson out there talking about the psychology behind a lot of these symbolisms in religion and mythology, because Thor is constantly waging the same battle almost with the same enemy, the Midgard serpent, the dragon, if you will, stretching around the world of men. So there's an element of the unknown there. There's the outlier. He's venturing out into the unknown to confront it, to try and expand the horizon of the world of men. There's all of that in there, and yeah, plot twist, and I'm gonna spoil the whole excitement for you guys now. Yeah, so the two end up killing each other in Ragnarok, the final battle. So uh, I think if I recall correctly, Thor ends up slaying the Midgard serpent, only to then take a few steps and die. I think it was Völvespa, where a Völva, a fortune teller, so a seer who predicts the future, predicted that outcome for them. Don't quote me correctly on that because I might have to go back and reread it. But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff there. There's also another. If you look at the character dynamics of these gods, the archetypes, the qualities, all of these things, and again, symbolisms behind the names, the alternate names, the genealogy, even down to what is Mjolnir? Where does that come from? Who made it? Who are the dwarves who forged the hammer? And all these other tools and things and belongings that every god has. What are those symbolisms? How does all of that fade in? But anyways, the more you study Thor as a character and as an archetype, and you see that he's hanging out with this guy Loki a lot. Loki, uh, who's that guy? Who's that character? What's that archetype? What is this dynamic, this relationship? So you see, you have these two characters and affecting each other in the way they do for a reason. And if you look at those archetypes in the modern world and how they have to coexist with each other, or at least strive to coexist with each other in a constructive way, and deal with each other's flaws and other qualities. Just how does this dynamic and this relationship in these myths play into these archetypes in the present? What can that inform us about in our modern world, and what can we take away from it? There's an ocean of information in there, and an ocean of clues. Now, whether it's the right way to approach the literature, that's surely probably up for debate. But I think a Jordan B. Peterson type of exploration into these myths would be very interesting, and maybe we should start working on that together. And yeah. So, anyways, this is just a quick food for thought for now. Just go and look at this, and especially if you're interested in the Norse myths, I would at least recommend Thrimskvida. That would be a very interesting one to go look into. And then the three trials of Thor, where he's at the Hall of a Giant, and he's being challenged and tricked. And I think that came from, whether that comes from Gylfaginning or some of these old Icelandic collections of, I think it's from collection of Loker. But yeah, we'll look into it, and whenever I get back to all of these things, and I'll find sources for some of the things that I talk about and bring it up. And sometimes I might take poems and translate them and just play around with the text. So we'll see. Depends on whatever you guys end up liking. That's probably gonna be the topics that I cover the most. What I find you guys who venture onto this channel to be interested in, what feeds your curiosity. So yeah, but this is a start. So go check out Thor, the god, not the Marvel character. All right, and we should definitely do a Marvel versus Norse mythology thing at some point. That would be fun. And torturous, but fun. Anyways, have a good day, guys.